Rhino back with another exciting, incredible PSA reveal. A moment of silence. Yes. This is the GOAT, and I am so thrilled about this particular card. This is the Desert Camo PSA 10. Over the years, I've tried to collect this rainbow, if you will, and soon all of Nolan's cards will be pretty much unreachable from a price perspective. So before this one went off to the bank, I wanted to show it off and admire this player. I mean, the level of consistency, hitting 310 this year, just gold gloves and so forth. You guys know I love him, but he's such a great player. So this reveal will have some GOAT, some Nolan, Arenado, some Joe Torre, some Trout, and some other things. And then also just a brief commentary about how to make sure that your cards are safe. If you hold your cards at home, you are asking for them to be destroyed and bring up the values of the rest of our cards, the community's cards. The bank typically has you charge you $100 to $150 a year to keep a safety deposit box, and the chances of you losing the cards or them being damaged at the bank is like 1%. But if you have them at home, I think it's like triple digits increase, 10% chance of something happening. So here's a couple recommendations. If you go to the bank, try to get a safe deposit box off the floor, maybe 2 to 3 feet above the ground there in case flooding. Flooding is the real risk nowadays from the fire sprinklers. The fire's not going to be a problem because it'll be responded to by the fire department prior to them getting there. Quick break. This is the Joe Torre that nobody got to see because I had a bad filming person, aka me. But that's the Bald Rhino channel. This is the card that saved the PSA order that I had the other day. It's a beautiful card, so rare. Vintage Breaks deserves the credit for this. This was pack pulled. And here's a 1933 Danny. This is one of my favorite cards. This one, can you believe that guy played baseball and wasn't the accountant for the team, or maybe, bookkeeper? Is that funny? I just can't get over that card. It's just so perfect. Look at this. I'll try to get you a close-up. Look at that guy. That is funny. I love the Gaudi sets. Also pretty much getting unreachable from a price perspective. But if you go and call your insurance company and say, well, I've got collectibles at home, blah, 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 it's going to cost you $1,000 rider minimum. And then they require you to store them in a particular way. And then depending on what kind of cards you have, somebody has to attest to the fact that you own them. It's a very, very complicated process. And then from what I understand from others who have actually had a loss at home, is a burden from hell to get reimbursed for them, particularly the value of the card as prices are appreciating so much. So your appraisals have to be consistently updated, and that's expensive too. Someone to appraise your cards is upwards of $500. So here's the Rogers Hornsby 33 Gaudi. Not in really good shape, but this is a tough card to find. So I thought you guys would like that one. So anyway, enough about that, but obviously I don't keep anything at home. I just feel like it's just not smart. I do miss the cards. I do miss them around. I think it causes you to buy more, or at least, do box breaks. I never once did that for a long time, and now I'm kind of almost exclusively into the modern stuff a little bit because it's so fun to be part of that. But this is Lefty Gomez, PSA 4, Gaudi. Sweet. I mean, it's not like the bat down Acuna, but it's pretty nice, right? And then the man that will soon win the second MVP in a row is Christian Yelich. Now that Cody Bellinger has fallen off the face of the earth, now he's at 308 batting average. I would be shocked if they gave the MVP to him, hitting 340. Now he's hitting 308, but maybe they will. I don't know. But Yelich, I think Acuna has a real chance, and I think Rendon has a chance. We'll see how it goes. But that's a beauty. And then this was brought up, I think, on a few other videos that YouTubers do. This is the Freddy Freeman Diamond. These guys are going to go. This guy's going to go in the Hall most likely with Trout. And look at that card. I mean, that is a beauty. Sparkle. Isn't that sweet? So I picked that one up. This is a guy that I think could have a chance to go in. It's a much cheaper card. This is the Goldschmidt Diamond Anniversary 2011. Again, he's so-so. He might be 50-50. He hasn't done himself any favors this year, but he's had a good second half. And this is the Diamond Anniversary PSA 10 Goldschmidt. But that card, I mean, look at that. That is just such a fun card. All right, and then this is, what is the deal? One Day a Comma card is baseball card collector put. This is the Bowman Chrome Acuna Rookie Auto. What's weird about this card, or different about this card, is it's a PSA 10, both on the auto as well as the card. And I just love that. Look at the signature. Sorry about all the glare, guys. I really need to figure it out. My channel is not like Filmington quality content and production, but that's why I don't have 1,000 subscribers. But we have hair loss in common. Anyway, that's one of my favorite cards here. I hope that he does something for long periods of time. And then here's one you've seen before, but you didn't see it well. That's the Palmer Vintage Breaks PSA 9. That's one of the benefits of doing vintage breaks. I don't know if people know this yet, but when it's pack pulled, even when it's not centered, the corners are so good that PSA gives it a better grade than you might find just raw out there because it hasn't been handled. So the edges and corners are better. And as a result, you know, this card's off center, but it got a 9 because it was pack pulled just recently. So just something to... Yeah, so sorry for that little interruption. Here's the 2018 Topps Holiday George Springer. These metallic snowflakes. I get a kick out of this card because, you know, Springer's a spectacular player, and the Acuna is off the chain with his. I think the 10 in this version is over $300 now. Here's the Springer. This is one of my favorite cards. Many of you have seen this before. This is the 150th anniversary PSA 10 2019 George Springer. I'm kind of dabbling with George Springer a little bit. He's just so dang fun to watch. And you have to have some low-end cards that make you happy so you can, you know, take them out every once in a while. Because it isn't convenient to go to the bank all the time, for sure, which is kind of a bummer. But that's just the way life works sometimes. And here is the 74 checklist that you, another Vintage Breaks pull. Really a pretty card. Again, out of Vintage Breaks with the corners and the edges and the surface is really good. Even if it's not centered, it's hard for it not to receive a good grade. So that's something to remind yourself if you do the Vintage Break thing. Here's the guy who should win the MVP, DJ LeMahieu. Did a bat flip the other night, which was beautiful on a home run, but that's, again, really a tough card to get a 10 in. Those were pack pulled. Here's the, I'm going to skip those and go to the last card. Well, you might be interested in this. This is the 72 Steve Garvey PSA 8. Really off center, but again, because it was pack pulled, you get some corners that are tight and the surface is perfect. All right, the last card is, I collect the trophy Trout all the time. I have a lot of these cards, and this one's going away and I'm gonna miss it. It's going to go sit in a dark vault, but I love this card so much. This is the orange refractor of the 2013 Topps Chrome Mike Trout sliding. It's one of the coolest pictures ever. And if you, this is, I would tell you, the next boom in Trout cards. You know, all of his rookie stuff is untouchable right now. But this card in particular, I think, is going to be something special. But I could be wrong. 50% of the time I am. So anyway, I really appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a great day.